tuned in to Haunted Moments, and I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Theresa F. Koch. There are many tales of the Lady in White. One of these local legends tells of the Lady in White of Arca, the ghost of a woman who died on her way home from her wedding night in the 1800s. Although no one has come into contact with her, many older people claim to have seen her, especially on the abandoned dirt road she is rumored to haunt. Branch Brook Park in Newark, New Jersey is home to the legend of the Lady in White of Branch Brook Park. Two conflicting stories are told about this Lady in White. In one version, the lady has a newlywed who was killed along with her husband on their wedding night when their car skidded out of control and crashed into a tree in the park. In another version, the couple were on their way to a prom when their limousine crashed. The boy lived, but the girl died, and she is said allegedly to still be looking for her prom date. The Lady in White of Branch Brook Park was also known in Newark's Roseville section, which borders the park, as Mary Yahoo. For many years, the tree in question was along a sharp curve in the park road, and part of its trunk was painted white. But it has since been cut down completely. It was said that on rainy or misty nights, passing headlights produced a ghostly image crossing the road there. There is some evidence that the details of this legend have been burrowed or blurred into other legends. Annie's Road in particular is thought to be a rehosting of this legend. Is this the Lady in White appearing in Gettysburg? The Lady in White who haunts Durand Eastman Park in Rochester, New York area is believed to be the spirit of a mother whose daughter was kidnapped and raped. The Gold Rush ghost town of Bodie, California is home to many ghost stories. One involves their Lady in White, a woman who was affianced to a miner from Bodie. On his way to trade his gold for cash, he rented room number 19 at the Bridgeport Inn in nearby Bridgeport and left his fiancée in the safety of the inn as he felt it too dangerous for her to accompany him on his journey. Unfortunately, the miner was robbed and killed on his way to claim his fortune. Upon hearing of his demise, distraught and unsure of what to do next, this Lady in White hung herself in the room. An apparition of a woman dressed in white, possibly in a wedding dress, is said to walk the halls of Bridgeport Inn to this very day, waiting for her lover's return. The Ghostly Sphinx of Metaconk by Stephen Crane recounts the tale of a lady in white whose lover was drowned in 1815. It goes as follows. In the afternoon and early evening, a female spirit in a white dress wanders around the graveyard of Charleston's Unitarian graveyard. She is known as the Lady in White by the locals. She is said to be the spirit of a woman who died at about the same time that her husband died as his ship sailed for Boston, Massachusetts. Neither of them knew of the other's demise. She was buried in the cemetery while he was buried in Boston, where his spirit allegedly haunts that graveyard. The Erythro Lady in White searches the graveyard eternally for her husband. Union Cemetery in Easton, Connecticut is arguably one of the most haunted cemeteries in the country. The most well-known haunt is a spirit known as the Lady in White. The identity of the spirit is not known, but sightings of her didn't occur until the late 1940s, meaning she must have died sometime before then. She is also said to haunt the nearby Stephen Cemetery in Monroe, Connecticut. Another tale of a lady in white is the Headless Bride, who haunts the Old Faithful Inn at Yellowstone National Park. She is said to have been murdered by her ambitious new husband after she fell in love with the servant. They went on a trip to Yellowstone. However, the young man managed to gamble away their money, and when the woman asked her father for more money and he refused, the husband beheaded his wife and fled. They say she haunts only the old house, since that was the only part when she was alive. Every night around midnight she descends from the crow's nest. Then she turns, and you see she tucks her arm over her head. She is dressed in her old wedding gown. After she looks around sadly, she realizes her husband has not returned for her and sadly disappears. In Santa Cruz, California, a lady in white can be heard and seen wandering the forest near the cemetery at night. Rumor has it that a man drugged his wife on their wedding night, then burned down the house while she remained unconscious inside. The Lady in White, or Witch White, now haunts the Blackness in her wedding dress. She is known to move about loudly and approach those nearby. It is said that she is dangerous. You're tuned in to Haunted Moments, and I've been your host, Reverend Dr. Theresa F. Koch.